Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Diplomacy Leadership Actions for Empowerment Change. Today, we have a new section about African continent. So if you have some questions or you want to learn something about the issues that right now happening in Africa, or also you have to improve your knowledge about different topics in Africa, this is the right place. Today, we have an expert in international security affairs that her name is Denise. So, Denise, hello, how are you?
Hi everyone. Today's agenda, as Sophia said, is water security in Africa. So let's go to it. Let me share my screen.
Of course.
You know, we are facing multiple challenges today, so we need to address them. And we need to address the most important one, that is climate change. So climate change affect the cycle of the natural cycle of the water.
Yes.
So it is important to address this issue. And for that, we are going to first to understand what is water security. According
Yes.
to the UN Water, back in 2013, they proposed this definition of water security because right now we don't have one. So these have these elements: the capacity of a population to safeguard sustainable access to adequate quantities of acceptable quality water for sustaining livelihoods, human well-being, and also the economic development. All of this to ensure the protection against pollution and disasters, to preserve these ecosystems. So it is important to understand that we have many elements here. This definition is kind of a guide to us to understand how we can address water issues, but also how we can improve and ensure that water security is available in Africa. So the
Yes.
first element, it is the capacity of a population. The population has to have this access to sustainable water, and also that has this quality and this all these proper elements to be consumed, but also has to be used, not only for the human surviving, but also for the economic activities of a country, of a region, and also to ensure this protection. The state and water security means that the state and humankind should protect the population against the water pollution, but also against water related disasters. And all of this in order to preserve the ecosystems that safeguard this water cycle, that give this important element to the earth and to the human being. So for this, even there is no a defined water security concept, we have this important definition that take care of all these elements. And broadly speaking, water security refers to the existence of water in a proportion and with the characteristics suitable for consumption, but also for the production of living. It is important to understand that this concept include the protection of the nature, but also the prevention and accompaniment, this important element of being side by side with people that are suffering from this important security, and in case of pollution, but also in case of natural disasters. Uh, in this element, I believe it is important to extend this definition to the water security, because it is important to safeguard this human right to water, and also to safeguard this human right to have access to water that is available not only for people, but also for the ecosystem to have this sustainability during the next years and the next generations. So till here we have this water security concept that made us more clear what we need to understand and to address to and protect to act. So although water security does not constitute a threat of armed conflict, it is a danger. It can become a danger to the very subsistence of the population and those to the national security of the countries. So it is important to understand that water security is not about, a conflict, an armed conflict, but it is more about, the subsistence of the human being, of the humankind. So it has to be a priority in the international agenda, but also in the national agenda of each country, not only in Africa, but also in all regions of the world. Okay, now continuing with this topic, we have a important ideas about water security in sub-Saharan Africa. For instance, we have this inequality in water supply that is in rise right now, and it's more pronounced in the population that live in rural areas. So we have this comparison, and it is important to support people that live in rural areas. We have also these disputes over the vital liquid, the water, and they are ongoing in this region. And for that, it is important the international and the regional cooperation tool, through the dialogue and cooperation and, making these initiatives by countries, in sub-Saharan Africa to help each other. And also, why not, they can give us to all other regions this important example of how to manage this water crisis.
Yes.
Yeah, we have these solutions that the solutions can be cooperation such as water infrastructure, or also water cost subsidies from government to the citizens, and also strengthening this water resilience, and also this transboundary cooperation, as I said, where we can see some initiatives that should be promoted and and applied in this region. We have many success stories in Africa, such as we have this Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa water data system, where
Okay.
through this they share this information, and this information help to create maps, and through those maps they could do more initiatives to save the water, and the to provide water security to all their population. We
Yes.
also have in Tanzania, we have, for
Okay.
example, this river where it was polluted, but also through cooperation they take care of and they prevent this pollution of this river. Or in Uganda, we have this action again in favor of water security, and
Yes.
they restore these wetlands near the river. So as a reflection or conclusion, we can see that the state cooperation is essential to water security, but also the private sector have this important role in taking care of water issues.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses also are part of this important change, and they can help a lot to improve this help. So so what is needed Well,
Yes.
first is needed, this cooperation, organization between countries, sharing information and a lot of interstate communication that will help to create a strategy and logistics to help, this sub-Saharan Africa region to improve water security, but also, cooperation and include other international subjects such as, the NGOs and these businesses, international corporations that can have access to this, and they can also help. And we also need this interstate cooperation, through diplomacy. And, the African leaders should, improve these water conditions of their people and achieve this sustainable water security, it is important to ensure to the future generations this access, of this
Yeah,
vital
and
liquid.
also to make some conscious about what is the situation right now in the whole African continent.
Absolutely, yes. And finally, what we can do, we can help also. And the first thing is to safeguard the availability of water in the proportion of the population. So it's important to see the data, to ask the data to our governments, to improve these important issues through data, but also to ensure this prevention. Prevention is the key.
Yes.
Very it's important to act in defense of the water. So it's important to understand first what's the concept of water security. Second, that is a human right. So it's our right to ask information about, this water system. And also we need to protect our, the rivers, the wetlands, all the nature around the world. And also we need to, strengthening the legal framework, such as, the legal documents about water, improve an international treaty of water. But also this will give us the opportunity to have access to water justice. So it is like an important cooperation between, interstate cooperation, but also with all the important subjects of this water issue. And together we can construct something very powerful and important for the future of our generations. So another important thing to do, and it is the final, is to combating and tackling this climate change through the international cooperation. And more than ever we need to, to take care the water through all this information, and through all this, conscious about what is water security.
Yeah. And finally, at the end, if you have some times, we have two questions.
Okay.
Yeah, our first question is about what all you already told us about the definition of water security. What do you think about that? Right now in the 2023, we have that issue that we already don't have a specific definition about that.
It is important to have one because that will give us access to, to water justice, for instance, or also, will give us as an human defenders of water, the tools, the right tools to, to
Yeah.
make the government's work. But also, it could be a important tool to cooperate and to dialogue, and to, to international cooperation between all these interstatal actors.
Okay. And our second question is what you can what you can recommend to the diplomats that right now in the different parliaments, also in the For example, the African Union or different parliament, not only in African continent, they can start to talking about this definition to try to have very clear what is the area. Also, as you tell us, we have to improve the different regulation about the weather. So what you can say to all the diplomats that have already different ideas, but not the specific idea about the weather security, and also how they can help to Africa to manage very well, or to try to manage the most of the possible limits that everyone have in her legislation.
Yeah, I mean, talking about, Europe and all the other regions of the world, it is important to have one general concept of water security, because that will be the main axis, the main idea, concept that to do this important protection of water. Water is a vital liquid all over the world. So this definition will impact the lives of everyone on earth.
Yes.
So regarding to that is, we need a general concept that it has to be, already, it has to be worked.
Yes.
About the second question, it is important that Africa could be a good idea that Africa made this important cooperation but with other regions of the world. For instance, with Asia, or with Europe, or with Latin America. America, it is important to have this important cooperation, because at the end of the day, we are all living in the same world, and we have to have this human sense, of helping each other more than
Also,
ever.
and I remember in another webinar that you already with us, you told us something about the importance, meaning of the multilateralism definition, and what is the display that all the diplomats try to do her best also.
Yeah, the diplomats needs to use, the multilateralism. Multilateralism is important to, in an important arena scenario, international, panorama, that they need to use. They need to talk each other about and compare, and to, I think it's important that they share this information, because with that
Yes.
information they could, bring this database to construct and to propose, international initiatives in favor of water. So at the end of the day, we are all living on the same, uh, earth, and it is important to prevent the, the
These
absence
kinds.
of this
Yeah.
water, of this vital liquid.
Yes. So thank you so much to bring us this new topic and be part of these global diplomacy leadership actions. And also we invite all the diplomats that ordinarily see this video to let's work together to contact us. And also we have to continue to talk about different topic about African continent. So stay very, very connected with our social media. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Dennis.
so much. Thanks to
See
you.
you soon. Bye.
You.